Hey, so skipped a few days just because once you've watched me sand a couple square feet, you've seen me sand them all, I think. So I actually went a little bit farther in depth than I thought I was going to. I ended up taking the bumper and the spare tire carrier off. I took the rear taillights, the housings out. Yeah, like I said, I went a little farther than I thought I was going to. I wasn't planning on even doing that good of a job. I was just going to tape them off and spray around them, but started noticing little things that were going to bother me if I didn't take time to fix them. I'll flip the camera around and show them to you, but I got a pretty bad rust patch in the tailgate, and then also the rear quarter panel right in the hole for the tail light housing. It started cracking, so I'm gonna try my hand at doing a little bit of rust repair. I'm gonna see if I can cut out a new hole, cut out a hole where the rust has started, and get a new patch stitched in there, get it welded in, and hopefully I can stop that rusting. That'd be a bummer if it started taking that whole tailgate. Also, where the spare tire carrier attaches, then get that crack stopped before it gets so bad that I can't use the spare tire carrier, because that would also be a bummer. I also decided that I was going to take the front bumper off just so that I didn't have to worry about it. It's 4 bolts, so might as well, I guess. I got to try out my impact wrench that I haven't used very much. Anybody who's looking for a cheap little impact wrench, I have a Aircat is the brand, and I was pretty impressed. I think it's only supposed to be like 800 pounds back out pressure, back out torque, so but seemed to work pretty good where I needed to use it. It's really small and compact, so wouldn't imagine that it's too powerful, but worked good for what I needed it when I took the back bumper off. So flip the camera around and show you guys what I've done so far. Then I ended up taking the taillight housing out, tape off the bubbles and stuff so that I can paint in there, get that nice and covered. Here's the rust spot that I was talking about. I was going along sanding and noticed that it was bubbling a little bit, so I hit it with a screwdriver and poked holes in it. So that's what I'm going to see if I can cut out right there and get stitched a new piece in. Like I said, that'd be a bummer if I ended up losing the tailgate just because I didn't get the rust stopped. I think it's kind of weird that it's rusting right there, because if you look underneath, there's a hole where, let me see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, that hole right there is where the water should drain. There's a couple of different spots where water and moisture should be able to breathe and get out of there, and I thought it was interesting that it's rusting right next to one of those holes. So I'm not sure. I think that this is fairly common with these Broncos, but it looks like there's good drainage, or at least there should be. I know that the seals on the window, these are obviously shot. They're not stopping anything. So I know that water is getting in there when it rains and whatnot, but it seems like there should be good enough drainage where it can get out. Anyways, so yeah, I was gonna take this front bumper off too, just so that I don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna tape off the headlights so that I can not have to worry about those and get it all painted. So here I am. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of rust repair. I've got this square right here, and I've got a metal punch I'm gonna score. I'm gonna try to give me some guidelines that are semi-straight, so that when I go to cut in with the grinder, the cutoff wheel, I can get some straight lines, so that when I go to stitch the new piece back in, it'll be semi-easy to get that piece to fit. So I'm gonna get the line scored, and then I'll show you what I got. So those lines are kind of light, but you can see what I'm trying to get. Just trying to get some lines so that I can hopefully get some straight cuts, and that new piece will fit in here. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this one over here. There's another little rust spot right here that's kind of popping up, so I'm gonna, as long as I'm doing this other spot, might as well do that one. Those are the lines for that smaller piece. Sorry I couldn't video myself. It's kind of hard videoing yourself when you gotta have two hands and you don't have a tripod. So you could see it was rusted pretty badly. There's these supports that are inside the tailgate. I think this one actually holds up the window regulator, so it's probably a pretty good thing that I don't know. It's probably spot welded all over the place on the inside of there, so probably it's not holding a lot of the weight right here, but either way it's probably a good thing that I'm getting it stopped. So I'll get this sanded down in here, and I'll hit it with some stop rust, you know, the Rust-Oleum stuff. So it was a good thing that I didn't get too crazy with it. So as you can see, I came in right here and I just barely nicked right there. I also, this wiring harness was actually tucked back here, and you can see I barely nicked the connector right there. So gotta be careful, obviously. That would have been unfortunate if I would have cut those things. So yeah, stuff that right back in there where it's a little bit safer, and I got that one cut out as well. I'll do the same thing with that one. I'll get it ground down and kind of get it cleaned up and hit it with some primer or stop rust, whatever they call that stuff, so that it'll hopefully neutralize it and quit it from spreading. I don't know what it looks like on the inside of there, but looks like I wouldn't be able to see it even if the tailgate was open. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that sprayed.